shaking now, now. Get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, get your rocks off, honey. Shaking now, now. Get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, get your rocks off, honey. Shaking now, now. Get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, get your rocks off.
Hello guys, and welcome to the Lancashire User Forum's live LUF Lounge on a Saturday evening. I'd like to say a massive thank you and welcome to everybody that's taking their time out tonight. I want to start off by saying we miss you, Peter, Emma. What a brilliant platform that you've created for us to be able to get together and keep people and communities bonded with faith, hope and experience. Not only that, tonight we've got a brilliant platform, an absolute brilliant platform. We've got laughs on here. We've got people who live true experience, community bonding associations. We've got angels on here as well, as you can tell, the Northern Lights. Not only that, we've got pastors. But last but no means least, we've got artists, experienced artists to take us out with music as well. So my name's Scott Parker. I work for Red Rose Recovery as well. As you can tell, it's not Peter, it's not Emma. We do miss you. I'll introduce myself. I'll introduce Carol Vorderman. No, sorry, it's Glenn Ireland. We did ask for Carol Vorderman. I was left with Glenn Ireland, but that's okay. But let me introduce Glenn Ireland as well.
Hi guys, yeah, so I'm Glenn and I also work for Red Rose Recovery. Many people that are watching this will have seen me, but I'm going to co-host it with Scott, so I hope you enjoy the packed agenda. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you. And again, I'd like to just show a little bit of respect and recognition for Peter and Emma, because, you know, a platform like this today, it took us all day to wrap our heads around it. We're going to come across like we're professionals, but by no means we're professionals. We are real professionals, but we are taking the reins tonight. And I'd like to thank them for the kind of platform that they put together for the past 5 or 6 months, you know, over the COVID period, and how rapid the response and everybody else we're connecting, and, you know, still showing us faith and hope that, you know, we're all still working together, you know, for the ultimate goal, for the ultimate prize, and that's, you know, each other in addiction and trying to get recovery as well. Let me not take the limelight. Let me give you my my guests tonight, and one by one, if we can, introduce yourselves and a brief about yourselves, and we'll start with the angel herself, Nicola Kelly.
I knew you'd do that. Get my nerves out the way, I'll speak first. I'm Nicola Kellett, and I'm just on here tonight to introduce my new business. I work as a residential recovery coach, and my company is called Guardian Angel. It's a new venture I'm hoping to get off the ground. Is that enough?
That's absolutely fine. We'll get more off you later, Nicola.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. Saskia, can we bring you in next,
Hello.
please?
Yeah, sure. Hello. So I work for Community Gateway Housing Association in Preston. It's probably about a year ago now that one of our local charities collapsed. So we stepped in really quickly to try to help deal with that kind of collapse, because they were one of the partners that were working with homelessness and reducing homelessness. And it's a really key and important part of our corporate strategy that we start to work more strategically with some of our partners in reducing homelessness. So yeah, that's what we did. We stepped up, and we're learning every day, and we're trying to do it to the best of our ability. So that's why we're here.
Thank you, Saskia. And again, we'll get more from you later. Graham, do you want to jump in on the back of that?
I shall just unmute myself. Good evening, everybody. So my name's Graham. I work alongside Saskia. My team works really closely in that partnership forum. So we deal with the tenancy management side of things. So people that come into our properties, it'll be my team, be it safeguarding, be it the not necessarily the support side, but the low level support side. So if there are issues around any neighbour disputes or just real problems that settling into our property, then it's our properties, then it's our team that would look and take that forward.
Well, thank you very much, Graham. I think it'd be really interesting to hear later on how we've managed with the COVID and the pandemic as well around your community team. Can we invite Lizzie in with a Hilarity. Hilarity. I got it right. Hilarity.
You got it right.
Thank you.
Yeah, my name's Lizzie. I'm from Hilarity and I'm over in Canada. I used to work for Red Rose Recovery and now I do comedy therapy.
Ooh. Oh, wait for this one, guys. I am excited. Stephen, would you like to bring your beautiful self in?
Yeah, my name's Stephen Brown. I work for Empowerment and Fulfilling Lives for people with multiple disadvantage. I hate that name, or human beings, I like to call them. However, I'm on here for myself tonight, and I'm just saying that because sometimes I put my foot in it.
Looking forward to that one then, Stephen. Colin, please give us a little of yourself.
Hi, my name's Colin Thomas. I'm just a guy, but I do work for a group facilitator for a rehab in Blackburn. I'm not even sure what I'm doing here, but I'm just here anyway. I'll just wing it.
No, we can't wait for your story and your inspiration as well, Colin, because we know that you used to work for Red Rose. And can we surely bring Neil in? Give us a little introduction, Neil.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm Neil. I'm an addict. I'm just trying to get another day clean like everyone else. Yeah, I'm representing Jobs, Friends and Houses from Blackpool, a recovery-based supported housing, and I've been asked to come on and do a couple of songs because I've wrote a couple of songs about recovery, about my journey. This is my auntie who I'm with. I'm actually in the process of making amends as we speak. Which is a beautiful the way I do my recovery, and I don't even have to say I'm sorry, but I will. But yeah, I'm going to do a couple of songs, lighten the mood, and hopefully give someone else a bit of hope, you know, because that's what I got given. I got given it freely, and I want to pass it on myself.
Well, thank you for that, Neil. Cheers, and I look forward to listening to your music as well, pal.
Cheers.
So, without further ado, we're going to kick it off, and I think, you know, for me, I've been researching a little of what Hilarity does, and the beautiful Lizzie, and I can't wait to hear a lot more about it. So, Lizzie, I'm going to let you take the platform, and please tell us everything we need to know.
Okay, well, tell you everything you need to know. What do you need to know? Well, you need to know the sober is dope. Happy Recovery Month, everyone. Happy Recovery Day. It's very, very exciting to be here and join up with you Northerners once again. I loved working over at Red Rose Recovery. I did a year there after I finished a comedy writing and performance degree in Manchester, which I did because I was in recovery, because I could. And it was just this kind of mind-blowing experience that at the end I did this research performance project. Can I use comedy as a therapeutic tool to smash the stigma around addiction and mental health? So I turned my own story into stand-up comedy, and then shared it with a group of people who I knew would have similar lived experiences. So I invited people in recovery to come and watch this show, and I kind of researched a lot around the subject and how comedy is being used to help people to process and so on. And then I came to work for Red Rose Recovery, and I was supported further to follow that kind of creative side that I was really passionate about. And I was a locality worker, so I helped people set up, open mic nights, things like that. And then I set up a night at a dry bar in Manchester called Addictive Comedy. I don't know if any of you remember that. We did it in Manchester, and we would, and I got funding from a drug and alcohol service, GM, what was it called again? Whatever, what it used to be a few years ago. And
GMH, wasn't it?
That's the one, yeah. And then we would bus people in from the treatment centres and stuff like that to come in and watch this show. And it was a recovery, it was a dry show. And then I got funding to put on a stand up for recovery comedy course. And so I incorporated what I knew about recovery, about fellowship, about being open and vulnerable, about connecting with a group of people to show up and be seen and heard where you're at, not where you should be, kind of thing. And through this process, I realized that I could turn what we currently know as stand-up comedy on its head and do something different with it, use it to talk about our stories, but not in a way that belittles our experience or makes fun of our experience, but you can weave in serious subject matter, and then you can break the tension with some humor, which was just, I was finding was really powerful. And so that was all happening, and I just kind of got this idea for it. And then when we did it in Skelmersdale, so we kind of did this comedy course in Skelmersdale, and then the people who graduated came and performed at Addictive Comedy, and there was this real response from the audience that was nothing like you'd ever get from a stand-up comedy club. You know, you got to prove yourself in a stand-up comedy club before we like you, but in a recovery environment, people will love you, even if you're like, they'll go, yeah, you smashed it. And that really actually helps people to open up and step into who they are in recovery, which was, or in, you know, in any part of their life, whether it's mental health and stuff. So then I moved out to Canada because I wanted it to become my whole life. I wanted to do it all the time because I just saw the power of it. And I trained as a therapist out here, and I did a 3-year therapist. I'm now a trained registered therapeutic counselor as well, which adds extra depth and weight to the work that I do with groups. And we rebranded from Addictive Comedy into Hilarapy because we didn't want people, because we would put shows on, we put our own shows on, dry shows, you know, they get sold out instantly. But when we put them in the paper, people ring up and go, can normal people come to this show? And I was like, what? Okay, yes, of course. Because people were just sort of stigmatizing because it was called Addictive Comedy, and because there was no alcohol there, they were just like, oh, it's not normal, you know? So I want to mainstream healthy lifestyle of, you know, alcohol and drug free. That doesn't mean you've got to carry the weight of being, you know, in recovery. So that is my life in a nutshell. But we have a venue now. We've bought a venue, and it's going to be Hilarapy Studios, and it's going to be set up with camera positions. We're going to make content, and we are in post-production for making a docu-series, which will go out. Well, I'm not going to say where it's going out, but it's going to basically show this the journey that people take when they go through this comedy therapy course. So there's loads happening over here.
So
it's easier to go on.
No, absolutely. No, I just had a quick question for you there. I mean, so do you find your participants desensitizing from the reality of what the past experiences were about, you know, their addiction and, you know, where they've come from, and being able to put it into comedy and not make light of it as such, but again, you know, see it in a different light?
Yeah, so basically what I do is I do comedy and therapy combined. So I do group therapy and a comedy course in one. So we do serious processes, therapeutic processes, right? Where people actually cry, they face their shit, they have to kind of show up in a way that they don't in everyday life. And they, you know, they open up in a safe environment, you know, which is like incredibly powerful. Then the group drops, everybody loves on them. They found a new experience of connection in a place that was previously thought of as shameful or traumatic. And then through the process of kind of opening up through the group therapy experience, then people are kind of starting to find where the nuggets of humor are within that picture, and then present who they are to the world from a place of what it is like to own our stories, is to be able to own our freaky, different, weird experiences of who we are without need of approval or sympathy. Then we're free, right? I can tell you who I am, what I've done, what I've been through. And I don't need your approval and I don't need your sympathy. I'm free,
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And that's the joy of it.
Getting a lot of love from the community. So you've got Derek Kearney, how are you? You've got Joe Duffield saying that He loves it. And Lorna's saying it's a massive achievement. And also I've put the link on the stream so that the community can see your webpage.
Thank you so much.
I was really excited tonight because, like I said to you earlier on, I'd seen a couple of videos and I'd seen the kind of reactions and everything else. And I think, you know, I've got a really good friend of mine that's on here tonight that, well, you know, for me to desensitize the way that I felt around the kind of experience that I went through, it was just about a group of us getting together. And we might do it a little bit different. We call it ripping the back out of each other, but it's coming from a good place. It's all coming from a good place at the end of the day. And I really did. I grew a hell of a lot through that kind of experience, you know, desensitizing myself. Hence, you know, the question was by no mistake. And I think it's beautiful what you do as well. I struggled with the concept at first, but then I just played it out in my own life as to, you know, how I grew through my own experiences. And more often than not, I've got to actually say it was through being able to have a laugh about them, you know, and not be taking ourselves too serious anymore. Because I mean, addiction was a serious situation. You know, I did not come into recovery to be boring and to be serious around myself 100% of the times.
I hear you. I absolutely hear you. And laughter is like that, like phenomena, isn't it, that unites us. And what I'm finding is that when somebody shares who they are from the stage and the audience, and you're in the audience and they've told your story, but they're telling it from a place of wellness and humor, and you've been the sort of person who's like, I don't tell people that about me. And then you see somebody kind of get love from the stage, it transforms how you view it. Because you know this, everyone on here must know this, that self-stigma is the biggest barrier to getting well. When we think there is something wrong with us, bad, wrong, different, shameful, we stop ourselves connecting with other people, and we stop ourselves just loving who we are and everyone else. We block that flow of, you know, love, which is in all of us, like one love.
And I think for me as well, it transforms the fact that we didn't need to be using or taking anything to be funny and to be humorous, that we have naturally got that within inside us, because we're all comedians at the end of the day. I'm sure we are. We've all got a crap joke or two as well that we throw out there. We see some tumbleweed now and again, but that's okay. We love ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that just what I love about humor or laughing is a break of tension. So you build up and then the joke takes the tension away. That's why we have humor. That's why we do it, because we get like too much tension in social situations, any situations. We have to break it by laughing and remembering we're all right, you know. And it actually, you know, what it does on a physiological level is to calm us down and to ground us and make us kind of, oh, it's all right, everything's all right. So that's why we laugh, right? That's why we laugh just in any situations.
So I didn't tell you this earlier, although I'm going to throw it out there. You've got to give us a caption. You've got to give us something. You've got to give us just a little piece of yourself in your performance. Please give us an example, because I've been dying for this.
I do stories, okay? So, you know, I thought I was Jesus reincarnated in a psychiatric ward. I thought I was going to be a famous rapper. All of that happened in a psychiatric ward. And I was a sex worker in Australia as well for a while, and all these different things. I can't just tell you a joke out of context. It won't work, right? But if you see how I can tell you that, and I've worked through it, because I had to work through it behind the scenes before I could take it to the stage and share some of that stuff, right? So do you see what I'm saying? It's like I can't just go, I'm not a one-liner, I'm not Jimmy Carr.
I've been dying for it all day as well.
Well, I'm just getting ready for tonight. I'm doing the rapping thing, right? So I'm gonna compare myself to Mad Child and Macklemore because okay. So I was like, I'll give you one line, okay? It's brilliant. Really okay. I'm mad, Liz. I want to see a UFO, but I won't be abducted. You know, I've got boundaries. I was very, very young when I started using drugs, but I put that shit down and I found me. It's a very hard task to live in a mask that's invented to give that. Exactly. You know, I haven't practiced for this. And I just come across it. I don't take myself too seriously, but I made a very fun rap video to go with that for Recovery Day. So hopefully you can see that in the comments box. Somebody's going to post that in the comments box, I'm sure, so that you guys can watch it. I'm not good enough to just be like, you know what I mean? This is not a comedy show, and this is
maybe I built myself up too much there.
Well, I was watching that rap on YouTube just before we went on. So if anybody wants to watch that rap, they can go on YouTube and view it. So. Yeah.
Oh, Lizzie, thank you very much as well for taking time out, coming from Canada, all the way on your magic carpet to Lancashire, representing Red Rose once again, just showing us, you know, the kind of platforms that we started off and where we got to. And it's a massive journey, and what you've achieved and everything else, I think it's absolutely beautiful, Lizzie. And I hope you enjoy your recovery weekend as well.
Thank you very much.
Shame we can't get that live either, but we will work on it. But thank you for your participation tonight, Lizzie.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys. Is there any more questions, Glenn?
Lorna's saying thank you. We've got, bear with me. Got that many comments coming in. We've got 50 live viewers at present.
No pressure, guys.
Sophie Smith, Lizzie is wonderful. Do you know Sophie Smith?
Oh, name.
Thanks, Lizzie.
Yes.
I think that was a thank you.
I think that was a thank you. I don't know where that come from, but anyway, that's what it is. It's real, isn't it? It's real. It's look, Lancashire User Forum. It's Red Rose Recovery. This is what happens on a live platform like this.
I suppose not to rob us guests either. Has anybody got any questions for Lizzie? Okay.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
You don't want to learn to be a rapper from me, right?
Slim Shady did come to mind. So without further ado, thank you very much, Lizzie, and it's been brilliant to have you here on this platform. So Glenn, would you like to run us a VT, my friend?
I would, yeah. So
I still don't know what VT means.
Right.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Sorry, it's not so much a technophobe, but I couldn't process it. But thank you. Yeah, videotape, please, Glenn.
Yeah, so I just want to give the team a big shout out, because I know that me and Scott are on here hosting this, but the work that goes on behind the scenes, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And one of the colleagues has got a VT together, videotape, even though we don't use videotapes anymore, but anyway. So he sent it me, and it's a bit of a summary about Red Rose and Lancashire User Forum, and it's got volunteers and staff and that in it. So it's about 10 minutes long. So here goes, we'll play it. Give me goosebumps.
Get comfy, guys. Get comfy.
Bear with me. Let me know that you can hear the sound when I play it.
The videotape.
Can you see that?
We certainly can, Glenn.
Let me know if you can hear it.
Yeah, we certainly can.
Hi everyone, I'm Barbara. Over the last 6 years, I have been a service user, a volunteer, and now I am a member of staff. I was given the chance to take training courses and given the ability to help others on their road to recovery. I'm very passionate about the work that I do, but I know that without Red Rose's support, I would never have been able to achieve what I have today. Thanks to everyone.
Hi guys, my name's Lynn and I work for Red Rose Recovery. I'm also part of the Lancashire User Forum. I'm part of the central team. I can honestly say that I have my dream job, as I absolutely love what I'm doing, helping others.
my name is Lindsay. I've been participating in groups for over 6 months and I find them very useful and informative. It's a genuine regime of guidance. I couldn't have got through my recovery without the help of Red Rose recovery groups. The leaders are patient and confidential. Everyone who comes onto group is always happy to be a part of the group, and the discussions are always safe, and everyone is very well listened to. My self-growth through group has inspired me to be a better person all around.
Hello, my name's Rodney Grealish. I moved into recovery homes about 6 months ago. Obviously, coronavirus, stuck indoors, and depression, anxiety has come through. But basically, I got passed on to the groups which I've engaged in. I found really helpful. There's a lot of different types of groups, so you can go and just do quizzes and bingo if you want. You can do groups, have good chats, good network of friends I've met through it. I like the fact that you can basically, if you're not feeling up to it that day, you can take your screen off so your picture's not showing, and basically just listen if you want. So you don't have to interact. You can just listen, and it really helps when you're feeling low. And basically, it really helps just to start meeting people and get ready for the end of it. But yeah, I definitely recommend it, as it really helped me through all these times where I don't know anyone. I've met new friends, when I met people at coffee. So it's good just to get out there and stop yourself from just being stuck in the four walls, really. It's a good starting point. So yeah, I recommend it big time. Thanks, cheers.
Hi, I've just been asked to do this to talk about Red Rose Recovery and what it's done for me. Well, firstly, did a £10 voucher for winning a quiz, and I'm not very brainy, but thank you, that's Red Rose Recovery. Since I've met these people, I have had so much support and love, and learnt to sort of like myself a little bit. I'm a recovering alcoholic. Lots and lots of hard times, but I'm here, I'm sober, I'm in recovery, and I'm getting so much support from these people, and I have such a laugh, and it's just like one big family, big hug for people who understand each other, empathise, can get it. We're all a bit broken biscuits, but I like broken biscuits. So I just want to say thank you to Red Rose for everything that you've done for me. I'm hoping I'll be able to give back and volunteer, but it just goes to show that we can do it. It's tough, it's not nice feeling, it's all a bit strange, but you know what, I wake up in the morning and I know that I haven't hurt anybody, I haven't done anything, I am not in a cell, so I feel so much better. And I was a mess, mentally, physically, a mess. Not in a good place, but I just want to say thank you, Red Rose Recovery.
I came to Red Rose groups back in March, and I was going through some personal difficulties, and they were there for me to support me and to empower me, and they've helped me gain my confidence. They've had compassion towards me, and they've made me feel welcome. And there's always a solution to any of your problems if you just engage in these groups. From going to the groups, I've applied for college in September. I've never done a college course in my life, as I left school at 13. So I've had no confidence in doing that until I went to Red Rose groups. I'm also doing a leadership course with Red Rose, and that's learning all about myself, with my boundaries and what I will and won't accept. And it's keeping me sober doing these things. So if you want a better life, I suggest you do the Red Rose groups and engage with them, and just be honest if you're going through something. I found honesty is the best policy, because then they can help you, because life isn't a bed full of roses. life isn't like that. You know, we have our good days and we have our bad days. But when we have them days, always go on the groups, bad or good, and then they can help you. And also, I live in a recovery home, so there's been times where they've come and they've dropped off food for us. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm missing the actual groups in Inspire, because it's always good seeing people in person, but the Zoom meetings have really helped me. So I just want to show my gratitude for Red Rose, to Scott, Glenn, and all the staff that are involved, because they actually care about where you want to go in life, and you know, they show you love and they show understanding, and that's massive. That is understanding where you're at, and I just want to say thank you.
Just like to say thank you to Red Rose Recovery for the £20 Morrison's voucher for me and Max. We've been struggling a bit recently, and it's going to come in really handy, help us get some shopping in and etc. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robin. I just want to talk for a few minutes about Red Rose Recovery and my experience with them. So I came out of a CBT-based rehab, second attempt, and I kind of got it. So they arranged a halfway house for me in Preston, and I went along there and was introduced to Inspire, and quickly became associated with the really good Red Rose groups that were on pretty much daily. So Here and Now, the men's group. It was a place where I always felt safe, a place where I could say what the hell I liked. It was very confidential. A place where I was with people who understood what I was going through. You see, I got the practical, I knew it all. I just needed time with good people around me, good advice, so that I could find my own path and my own way forward, my own recovery. I tried other groups, AA, not for me, others as well, maybe I wasn't for them, but Red Rose were a constant, and people such as Glenn, Scott and Liz, they're kind of always there for me, and that's important in recovery. Even to the point where I found myself looking for a second halfway house, and Scott pulled a few strings, and I ended up at a much better place with Russ and Terry at Waterloo Road, Phoenix Futures. So I was feeling better in my own skin generally, so I began to volunteer for Red Rose. I did that for a little while. Time's a huge healer, quite a cliche, but it's true, and after a while I just felt comfortable enough to branch out on my own. So I looked at the job market and I found myself a job and moved away from Preston. I'll never forget the support, practical support I had from those three people and others at Red Rose. I'll be eternally grateful and recommend to anybody who find themselves in Lancashire, look up with Red Rose. I'll sort you out as well.
Hi, my name's Peter. I'm 37 years old. I've been a member of Red Rose Recovery for, I'd say, about 8 weeks now. This is just part of a little bit video diary that I do for myself, and you know, when I'm struggling, etc. And one thing that I really want to mention about Red Rose for me, for just an example, the other night, Saturday night, I was really struggling, you know, and I picked up my phone and I rung a member of their staff down there at Red Rose, and the phone didn't even ring, and someone was at the end of it for me. Now, you don't know what that did for me, or maybe you did, maybe you do. You know, just the fact that somebody's there when you pick that phone up is massively important. You know, there's so many things that can go wrong when you're trying to reach out to people and you don't get that thing back that you need. You know, and these guys are there on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock. Whatever time you need them to be there, they're there. And they're a detriment to people like myself and other recovering addicts out there. I'm just really thankful for Red Rose Recovery and what they do for people. Thank you, Red Rose. You're saving my life.
Hi everyone, I've been asked to share in under 1 minute, and that's a difficult thing, just what I get out of Red Rose Recovery and the Lancashire User Forum, and to me that's easy, that seeing somebody experience the joy of, you know, getting their kids back out of care, or preventing them going in, or rebuilding the relationship with the parents after 10 years. Just being around that type of energy and positivity is amazing. But what's even better than that is when that person realises that they have the ability to expand that into other people's world. It becomes a chain reaction of positivity, and that's what I love, that's what I thrive on. I just want more and more and more and more of that.
Hi guys, how are you? So I'm Glenn. I'm one of the team leaders for Red Rose Recovery and advocate at the Lancashire User Forum. I'm just doing a short video just to let you know what I do and how to get involved. So I started volunteering with Lancashire User Forum and Red Rose Recovery about three years ago, and what it did for me was massive. So I've come from a life of crime, substances, and hard to control. So when I started volunteering about 3 years ago, it gave me purpose, belonging, hope, and it was like a little bit of a family really. And from that I could progress. People believed in me, they don't judge me. So all you have to do is get involved, is go to the Red Rose Recovery website, and you can send them a message, and one of the team will get in contact with you. I would encourage anyone to get involved.
Absolutely beautiful, that. Absolutely beautiful. I'd like to say a massive thank you to all the Red Rose staff as well, and the people that were helping out in the community. And I will, you know, because we have got a couple of Scots. In fact, we've got a few Scots that work, you know, with Red Rose, so I don't want to rob them guys either. It wasn't myself personally that they were talking about, although I might have got in there somewhere. But just a big thank you to them as well. And I've got it on live. Hold on. Just 1 second. It's official. Yes, we've got Peter Yarwood in the house. I was going to say Michaela Stracker, but yeah, Peter's on the street. He's joining us live. I think he's got some very valuable information for us. Peter.
We found him. We found the Balaclava blogger. Hey, on the way of the roses. So we jumped in the car and we tracked you down, didn't we?
Show them all the bill, mate. Show them the
Come on then. All right, come on then. Let's show them the setup. Okay. So
substance down. We've been riding all day since 5 o'clock this morning.
All right. So what's that then, Tez?
That is yogurt and granola. One of my friends have just brought me that. That'll keep you going, won't it?
So and what's this? This is. Hold on. Let me just.
So in there.
Hold on. I think I can flip this camera. Yeah. There you go. Right.
Oh, look at your little trolley.
What have you got in there, Teddy?
Come on, do some warm up.
Hey, there's a tent in there, yeah? A tent, laptop, camera gear, not very many clothes.
I've got some jumpers in that. I'm all right. Is it a bit chilly, Emma? It's a bit chilly, is it?
I'm all right, I'm quite warm.
But he didn't have a
Because
map,
of
so
stock.
we've just downloaded the map. He's actually on track though, aren't you? There you go, look, warming up. Look. Come on, Seth.
Keep stretching.
How many miles have you done, Tess?
He's got the map.
I reckon Morecambe to, where are we?
So this
We're
morning,
up to Dales now, love.
so he set off this morning in Morecambe at what time?
About 9 o'clock.
About 9 o'clock this morning. Stayed in a tent.
Got lost.
A two-man tent last night on the front.
On the
Was
free
it windy?
Yeah, freezing.
And he's been at it all day. And I just think, you know, we should really get behind him and support him. So you've got, how can people support you, Terry?
Go on my page and donate.
Right, say that again.
So on my if you go on my Facebook, I'm doing all this to raise awareness for about the current youth offending team. Yeah, like kids who are like out there offending, doesn't know there's a way out. Yeah, end up in the prison system. Trying to show them a different way. I setting up this program and going about them.
All right, so you had a little visit off a couple of the team members yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And what was that about?
No, I did put in for a grant of £500 from Stepping Stones from Red Rose, and I've got it.
Have you?
I have all my blogging gear in there, but I can't use it because I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the plan. I'm gonna. So obviously, I'm just doing this bike ride coast to coast first, and then I'm doing Johnny Groats to Land's End and back.
Right.
So, you know what I mean?
But this is your training
So this is
ground.
part of
This
the
is your
training for it,
now,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of the
Your
training for it.
How's it feel, Terry?
So we'll go on the 17th of September. How do
So-
you feel?
So he's going for it, isn't he? You know, have you got any
Absolutely.
questions for him?
I've got a question. Will you put it back a little bit,
No.
your date, just so we can
I'd love to,
support
but
you more?
no, listen, I've made the decision. It's out there. I'm just going for it. That's it. I've got to get back. I've got a baby.
I know, yeah. I know.
No, I don't want to be like, do you know what I mean?
So Emma's asking him, will he put the Land's End to John O'Groats back a little bit?
Just so we can plan it better.
I'm planned. I've got it. Right, listen, that's not. Don't worry. It's planned. Just take it off.
She's just throwing it on his toes there. You weren't expecting that.
So if anybody does know Terry, we do know that we've got an energetic guy there. But just out of curiosity, Terry, what was the inspiration behind it all? What made you formulate this kind of plan?
Why not? Right. So I'm sitting there and thinking, what can I do different? Do you know what? I'm sick of doing the same thing day in, day out. I want to go and make a difference somewhere. And I thought, do you know what? I've got a lot of experience with growing up in the prison system, the criminal justice system, and also kids' homes and antisocial behaviour myself. So, do you know what? I can help them people.
You know what, Terry, for me, massive love to yourself, massive love. You know, you're throwing out inspiration and setting a path there for everybody else as well that's got that extra time, that spare bit of time. You know, it's got that love for that kind of dedication to something that's close to his heart as well. Yeah. And for me, you know, utmost respect on what you're doing, my friend.
Cheers, Scott. Nice one, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
Well done, Terry.
No worries.
Well done, Terry, mate.
Cheers, Glenn.
No problem, pal.
And he's got a fair amount of adversity to just this challenge, coast to coast, haven't you?
Yeah.
Especially down that road we've just been down. Yeah. That's adverse.
Listen, my bike hit 40 miles an hour. I thought I was going to die.
What were the hills like?
Honestly, the hills are like that. I've got photos here.
You can either have a car coming down that road or a bike. You can't have both car and bike.
Thin, yeah.
So just once again, guys, how do we donate? How do we connect? How do we?
So, let me go on my donate page and show you. I'll try and send you the link now to Red Rose. Let's have a look.
So if people go on the Red Rose,
on that route, or you want to meet Terry with a brew or something like that, you can do.
He needs brew.
How long's it going to take you, Terry?
It's only 3 days. This.
So 3 days.
I'm hoping to be at the other side on the 3rd day. Yeah. And whether to come back or not, or get the train home, we'll see. You know what I mean? So I haven't planned to come back.
And how many miles is it from?
170 there.
So it's 170 miles, and me and Emma have just been up some windy hills and roads, haven't we?
Beautiful round here, though. It's beautiful.
Let's try and get on this page.
So,
So let's get some massive support out there. Follow Terry, and hopefully let's see his journey.
So get on Facebook with him.
Yeah, there's a new comment in here, or someone's done something.
All right. So
far, I'm asking for 10 grand up, so now I'm trying to raise, yeah. Just to start
Well done. Well done.
Well, there's £210 in the pot there. Right. In that pot, and then I've got a PayPal account where there's money gone into as well. There's about 40 quid in that one.
So it's £250 into a 10 grand target. We've supported him with a bike. He's been successful.
The training bike, yeah. Oh, I've been training on that. No wonder this is quite easy on that bike, isn't it?
Successful in a stepping stones application for a laptop.
Yeah, laptop,
a microphone,
camera, walkie-talkies for back of the
walkie-talkies.
Yeah, there's all sorts.
So it's how we us in the community can support you, because you're doing it anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
He's one of them, Terry. He'll do it anyway. So how can we support you? I would say you
already
need
had
some
one. You already have
some hot food now.
Yeah, listen. Honestly, I'm good. But you've already supported me. Red Rovers have been there from the start when I said I'm doing it. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? You come and pick me up. Let's go.
Goodbye to the guys.
I've got to go. Yeah. Right, I've got to go.
See you later, chap.
Cheers.
Absolutely. Well done for what you're doing, Terry. Brilliant inspiration back to this platform, and thank you very much. Back to the studio, guys. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Pete. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you anyway.
Can I just come in? Can I just come in before we go to our next guest, which is Stephen Brown? I just want to ask what the people think about the video that one of our colleagues did. So we don't get any feedback from that. Anyone want to come in?
You mean the VT?
The VT.
Come on, you see, keep it real, Glenn. Keep it real. The VT. Yeah.
Oh, I had tears in my eyes. It's like you're full of compassion and empathy. You know the journey. You've done it yourself. For all of us with variations, but it's like my heart goes out to everybody. That's like early days, especially because it's really tough, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And supporting each other is massive. That unity is like key, I think.
Yeah.
It's
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it captured in 10, 15 minutes what we've been doing over the last how long, and it did give me goosebumps when I watched it myself. It was good.
And it ultimately makes you feel alive, that connection.
Me too, Glenn. I loved it. Yes, Terry.
Yes, Stephen.
I'll come and find you tomorrow. Don't worry. But that video just sums Red Rose up for me. All them people coming into recovery, finding some purpose in life, getting some friends, having a laugh, and starting to get better and get confident. And that's what happened for me.
So by no mistake, Stephen, you're talking now, and you are our very next guest, and we'd love to hear your inspiration and your journey as well. We know that you've got close contact with Terry, so I mean, again, you've got all sorts going on for you. I'd love to hear a part of your journey as well. So if you want to take the platform, by all means, Stephen, take it away.
Yeah, cool. My name's Stephen. I'm someone I've been around a few years now, and from where I've come from, I never thought that was possible. I come into recovery with Terry. I come out of prison after being in prison most of my life. Went into a recovery house, and that woman was just on before, wasn't she? Talking about humour. And I don't think if it was for a recovery house with people like Terry, 5 of us who'd been in prison most of our lives, had crazy criminal records, prolific offenders. We were like top 5 on the tick squad to go straight back to jail, and that didn't happen. What happened is we all looked after each other, and we all got through it at first with humour. Do you know what I mean? And Terry was massive early in my recovery. Terry helped me loads. He made me laugh. He made me cry. And what he's doing now is ace. I love it. It's some purpose in his life, and I've been watching him. I'm going to go and find him tomorrow. But I guess I'm not going to go into all my past. I get quite bored of it lately, but let's just say I've been in prison a long time. I left school with no qualifications. My brother died because of heroin. And that's the route I took, and it was endless, and it went on for years and years and years, and until I remember being in prison with nothing to do, and I remember Peter, I remember Emma coming in, and they brought this American guy in, John Shinolsa, and he made me laugh. He made me laugh, and I just, when I went back to my pad, I just thought I'd love to be able to do that. I'd love to be able to go into a prison, be able to get let out at the end of it as well would be good, and pass a story on that you can change your life, because I was one of them people who was writ off by probation, the police. I ended up a prolific offender. I ended up on methadone for 15 years. I couldn't see a way out. I was just in and out and in and out of prison, and that's how I thought I'd spend the rest of my life. And I'm one of them as well. I went on a rehab, and I'm one of them that when I go back into prisons, you don't have to be a graduate, and you don't have to stop using drugs the day you go on to a rehab, because I never. I carried on using drugs all the way through a rehab I was on, because I just didn't know how to stop, and I was lying and blagging, and I guess the last 3 months, you know, the last time I used was December 2016, Christmas Day. I thought, bob on, let's have a buzz. Christmas Day, let's treat myself. And when I got locked behind my door, I broke down. I thought I'd had enough. Luckily, I managed to stay clean for the last 3 months. Started to get a bit honest with people, and like I was just saying before, I got out into a recovery house, and one of my friends was Terry coming after, but one of my friends was there in particular. He's called Lee. He's my friend now still, and he's still stuck around and he's clean, but I'd used with him, I'd been in prison with him, I'd been padded up with him, and I guess I was kindly faced with that. You know, like when everyone says, yeah, I'm clean, I've not used for 3 years. Well, the way I lived was like, whatever, mate, I don't know you. You haven't used like me. But when I got into this house with someone and he was clean and I knew he'd used like me, I was finally faced with that. Right, well, how are you doing it? And very simply, I just followed him, me. I went to mutual aid meetings. I did some volunteering. I did a day rehab when I'd got out of prison, because I wanted to connect with people and I wanted to find something else to do. I needed to get rid of all my old acquaintances, all the places I used to go. You know, people used to say you need to change everything. And I guess I was at a point where I was like, all right, just show me what to do. I've had enough. What do I do? And I went on all these volunteering courses, college, you know, I got involved, and I did the Amy Winehouse Foundation, and went and did some training and met a load of people who are still around now, and we went into schools, and on the back of that, we went to do the Amy Winehouse Foundation training. It was in Preston, just opposite Red Rose Recovery, and me and my mate started getting involved with Red Rose Recovery, but we were based in Blackpool. Red Rose were based in Preston, and the training that Red Rose was doing was in Lancaster, and we had no money. We was like, well, we want to come and do this training, and because of Blackpool's unitary, and it's a bit weird, we worked it out anyway, and I kind of put a little pitch into Red Rose and said, listen, can you fund me and my mate to come over here, our petrol? You don't have to give us the amount, just give us enough to get us here and back. Luckily, they did. We did all our training, and on the back of that, I didn't even know at the time that I would have liked a job, and a job come up at Red Rose, and I got my first ever job. I think I was about a year clean. I got my first ever job ever. With Red Rose Recovery, and it was running the 5 Ways to Wellbeing group, and I loved it. And the thing I love about Red Rose Recovery is, you know, when we go on about 9 till 5 jobs, it wasn't that for me. I got a job where I did my own courses. I was responsible to go and open these courses in St Anne's and Fleetwood, but there was loads of leeway with them. Do you know what I mean? So they used to we used to go and do talks in colleges and prisons and go and do training and grab people and take them to Lancashire User Forum. And there were counties. I remember the first county I went to, Lancashire User Forum, it was at Burnley Football Club. And I was like, I think we grabbed a minibus full of people, and it was just like, get people there, get them connected. And I think what everyone talks about, for me, this is personally as well, is the main thing for me is connection with other people. When I'm feeling down and shit, I ring my friends and I get through it. Do you know what I mean? I do loads of other stuff, but for me, I definitely need that connection. I've just been away to Greece with my partner and the little one, and when I got back to Blackpool, I went and seen all my friends and got back round it. Do you know what I mean? And I guess it took me 2 years to get a little bit better in a recovery house, and then I got a flat, and I guess it's took me 4 years to go to get a full-time job. I've got offered a full-time job, and I just keep putting them off and off. And over the last 2 days, I've had 2 really massive pieces just lit me up. So the first one was I got some court papers through off the court that will give me contact to go and see my daughter, because I've had a little girl who's 8 months old in recovery. I'm not seeing her that much. I don't get on with her mum, and I've had to go through loads of stuff, and I just got some papers through. So I'm going to court, and I want contact with her. And then yesterday I confirmed that I will start a full-time job, and I'm a bit apprehensive about that, because I'm like a social butterfly. I like to get out and do things, but I mean, it's all good, isn't it? I can't wait to go to job centre and say thanks for your help. However, I'm going to move on, and that's kind of my story. My story is that I've come here, I've found some friends. I haven't used drugs and I haven't drunk alcohol in quite a few years. I managed to improve my life. I've got jobs, I've got friends, I've got a partner, and I've also travelled quite a lot of places around the world. And for someone who only ever had a passport once, I think he had it for about a week and I sold it for a bag. Do you know what I mean? I'm not done too bad. But that video, what you just put on there earlier, just summarises Red Rose recovery for me. People, not everybody goes to NA. I do mutual aid meetings, I do that stuff, but it's not for everyone. And what I learned was when I was with Red Rose Recovery, because when I first got the job, I was like, you have to go to NA meetings or you won't get well. And when I got a job with Red Rose Recovery, I found that's bullshit. People can get well going to the gym. People can get well doing their own 5 ways to well-being. People can get well going to church. And I guess it doesn't matter. Go and find your own recovery. That's what I did. And, you know, I've known Glenn for time. I know Colin. I've met Colin since I've been in recovery. I think me and Colin was actually at Britain's Got Talent and seen a golden buzzer, didn't we, Col? You know, and just things like that. Listen, my life wasn't like that. I didn't used to go to Britain's Got Talent and stuff like that. I used to be homeless, sleeping in toilets. Do you know what I mean? And I guess since my life's got better, like I've started to think differently, and the most important thing is to help other people. And there's nothing better, Peter just said it in that thingy, than watching someone come into recovery, get lit up, get a job, and find the feet. And I guess that's what I thrive off as well. I love that stuff. I've been struggling a bit with them Zoom meetings lately, but I keep doing them. Do you know what I mean? I can't wait for all this stuff to go off. So that's my story. Listen, I have got to go because time's lapsed and I am in a poker tournament at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to leave you all. Thanks a lot.
Well, do you know what, Stephen? Let me just say you're a massive inspiration anyway, and it's been beautiful to have you on here tonight. Again, you know, I've known you for maybe a couple of years as well, and you're dead right. Each and every person's path is different, and that's where Red Rose Recovery allows you to find that path. And, you know, massively, much respect to yourself and what have you. If you win a couple of quid, I'll come to Greece with you. Absolutely no problems.
Well, just on that, Steve, as well, I remember, obviously, I'd done prison with you, and I was on I think it was A-Wing or B-Wing in Preston. And then when I got out and started volunteering and I seen you that had a job, I was like, I need some of that. How's Steve Round on that? I need some of that. And you are an inspiration and you've done really well, pal. So well done.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Have we any feedback of the guys that sat here on this platform? Is there any questions, Glenn?
There's that many coming in. I can't read them all at once, so I'll try and filter some out. Yeah, I'm trying to multitask. I've got about 4 devices.
I bet there's millions, isn't there?
It's all for you. It's all for you, Stephen. It's all for you.
Now, listen, Scott. Listen, and just forget all that stuff. But I remember seeing you at the first Lancashire User Forum. Listen, I seen you when you was like bottom, lad. Yeah, I seen you, and I've watched you. I've watched Red Rose get about, and I've watched you grow, man, and I've watched you get things, and that's what it is.
Thank you.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and you know what? And I think you'll agree with me. You know, it isn't a company that you work for. It's a family. It's an absolute family, and it's a privilege as well. You know, and it's a privilege to have you guys. You know, to catch me ultimately. You know, being there for. You know, on the times when I'm struggling as well, because ultimately, you know, we might be staff, but we're still human. You know, we still all need that support at the end of the day, Stephen. But thank you for that as well. Absolutely.
All right. Take care.
Oh, 1 second, Steve. 1 second.
Just 1 second. You've got Lorna. Thank you, Stephen. Massive inspiration. You've got Emily Kinder. Oh, brilliant. Bev Webster. Thanks, Steve. Brilliant as always. And Peter Yarwood. Nice one, mate. You're a star.
Yeah, and I would definitely say as well, if anyone follows Terry, what he's doing for this bike ride, because this is like a next level thing. You know what Emma just tried to say, put it back a bit there. You won't get Terry to put his back. He's made his decision. He's driving. And if any of you try and follow him, it's amazing.
Cheers, Steve.
Thank you anyway, Stephen. And enjoy your weekend as well, pal. Cheers for joining us. Massive. So, I've got a big lump going on in my throat here. You know, all the shared stories and all, you know, all the passion from everybody. But I think we're just going to change pace a little bit now, and I want to open it up and find out, you know, what's actually happening in these communities, and you know, the kind of housing associations that actually build and bond these communities together as well. So on that note, I would like to invite in Saskia and Graham. Because I know you both got a different part of, you know, roles that you play in this on this angle, should I say? So, Community Gateway, take it away, please.
You want to go first, Saskia? Shall I?
It's up to you, mate. Either way.
I'll let you. I'll give way.
You start.
Okay. So yeah, I've spoken to Glenn and quite a few of the guys from Red Rose Recovery. And the landscape out there for us has really changed from the beginning of lockdown to where we are now. So for those that don't know, we are a housing provider predominantly in Preston. And within Preston, we've probably got just short 7,000 properties, and a lot of them are on the big estates. So all the big estates are community gateways. And again, you can imagine a lot of single bed occupancy properties. So 1-bed flats, quite a transient population in them flats, in some of our more deprived areas. And we've noticed in that short period how much these communities have regressed. Now we're starting going back into properties, and people are really, really, really struggling. We've been, as a team, my team, we've been, Community Gateway have been around now for about 12 years. And all the work we seem to have done around building partnerships and building that trust has somewhat gone back. We're really, really finding, especially our more vulnerable, are just at rock bottom. And there's a lot to go at. And there's a lot of trust to build up, and there's a lot of people that have taken advantage of that. You know, there's a lot of people who have taken advantage of the really, really vulnerable ones. I know Glenn and I have had quite a few conversations about how we can link up and going into these properties with people like yourselves who's got that lived experience, because with the best will in the world, you know, I haven't. I come from a legal background, so things are quite black and white to me. However, and just listening to the video clip you did, the VT, we think we know at Gateway, and I'm sure that's true for other housing associations, because I like to think we're quite progressive. But do we really? But we want to, and you know, we need to look out to all the people that around the multi-agency forums that we sit on to come and help us.
Yeah.
You know, our doors open, so we've got access to all these properties, and you know, we just want to do the best, because the one thing we are about is so my teams are, one of my teams is the tenancy enforcement, which sounds, when you go into a property with that title, they think, oh no, housing's here, we're going to lose our property. But that's not the case. You know, the case is we want to sustain tenancies. So if we get in early, before they get to crisis point, you know, that's when we can make our big differences.
Yeah.
So
I would agree.
Yeah, and I think it's very vital, that, and it's very vital, you know, to identify and be in there and catching people before it gets any worse. And I think you've come across, you know, and I look at people like yourselves that, you know, do this kind of work. You have lived recovery. You have got experience in addiction as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So you've got experience about living other people's, and you know, and the kind of people that you come across and everything else. So I'm quite aware you'll have plenty of identification that goes on until you find that rapid progression going on. You know, being able to catch people, point them in the right direction. You know, signposting them to other services and what have you. Hence, like I said, the connection with Red Rose to be able to, you know, connect to ourselves. And I think it's a massive part that you play as, dare I say, an housing association, you know, with all the properties that you've got. Is that the right word, a housing association?
Yeah, we are a housing association, a housing provider, social landlord.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's probably one of the first that I've heard, you know, in the area that you're talking about in Preston, you know, that's opened me up more so to like the care and the, you know, it's all about the person at the end of the day. You know, it's all about, you know, their manageability. And, you know, the property does come in there somewhere, ultimately to try and keep them moved, but like actually centered on what's going on for the person in the property. I think, you know, for me, it's massive.
I would say we're very much more than just a landlord, you know, and we also plug a lot of gaps of other services that have been reduced as well. And I don't think that we are experts in this area, but we're trying to get better at it. And I think that we want to kind of build those partnership relationships, and we recognise that other people, you know, are already very good at doing things in this area, and we just want to, you know, kind of latch onto that and do what we can to make our support services, because that's what we do, is like Graham said, it is all for us about tenancy sustainability. That's really important. So yeah, we're wanting to work with others.
I think, you know, from what you've just said there, I think we've all got the compassion, and I mean, you guys have ultimately got the compassion, you know, to see people on the right journey, on the right path, and to sustaining, you know, a home, a roof over their head. And, you know, we might have the lived experience, but again, you know, without the compassion and signposting into people like ourselves, you know, ultimately you are key, you know, to the roles in what you play. So don't ever take that away from yourself. You've got plenty of it, in my eyes, through my experience being on the streets of Preston, being told off the council I have to wait 6 months before I could move into a property in Preston, and not actually knowing about yourselves, not actually, you know, being signposted in your direction, shows me the kind of compassion that you guys have got.
And we want to improve on that as well. So in our kind of overall corporate strategy, which we consulted with our communities and our existing customers, homelessness and helping to kind of support our partners in kind of eradicating homelessness is really important to us as a business. So I was going to say something else then, I've forgotten where I was going. Oh, I think it's about kind of us getting more into that kind of arena. That's always been more of a kind of local authority responsibility, but I think we can all get way better at doing that. I think a lot of the coronavirus stuff has been very difficult for a lot of people. We've seen that as well. It's caused a lot of challenges, but I think there's a lot of opportunity that is going to come from this as well. I think we're recognising that it's an area that isn't funded well enough. So hopefully we might get a bit more funding to help kind of support, you know, with that as well. And we need more kind of support on helping people who are either at risk of being homeless or who are street homeless, and Community Gateway are now involved in that arena. It's early days for us, and it kind of happened a whole lot quicker than we were anticipating. You know, we were very clear that, you know, that's where we wanted to head towards, and then this charity going under kind of meant we had to get ourselves together in 2 weeks and pick up the pieces of a bit of a mess and run with it. So, and then coronavirus hit, so yeah, it's been interesting and a challenge, but it is about seeing people succeed. It's about people supporting each other. I thought, and what Stephen said about, you know, sort of helping, supporting people and seeing each other succeed and inspiring other people to, you know.
We're not just talking about putting roofs over people's heads either.
No,
we're talking about feeding them, making sure they've
so
got
much
food in the
more.
cupboards, that, you know,
Absolutely.
they've got, yeah, absolutely. And Glenn, did you want assessment, Paul?
Yeah, because obviously we've had discussions before, Graham, and we was having a discussion yesterday about it, weren't we, about obviously when COVID come in, obviously you didn't see any homeless on the street because they all got rehoused, put in different places. Now we do some outreach and giving donations out in the community and that, and I went into town last week and they're all back on the street. They're all back on the street. So I've just got a question of, if someone is on the street, what's the pathway and that they have to follow to be able to potentially get into gateway housing?
So we work with Preston City Council and the Foxton Centre as well. So the Foxton have outreach who are out there trying to look for people who need that kind of help and support. So it is about linking in, you know, with either Foxton or Preston City Council, and we've got a really good partnership arrangement with them that's working quite well at the moment. So if people want to get in touch, then definitely.
And I think ultimately it comes down to the individual, and because there's a lot of people that you know, not to take it away from the services not doing their job, because there's people that want to stay on the street. You know, there's people that don't know how to handle responsibility, paying bills. You know, but then knowing that they've got the kind of support from you guys, you know, would no doubt.
People are at different stages, aren't they? And yeah, you're right. It takes somebody to want to, you know, to link in, doesn't it? So.
I've been a Preston lad all my life, and I believe that Gateway is the community, because the largest housing provider in Preston, you've got Callan Estate, Ribbleton, Brookfield, you've got all the big estates, and I think it'd be madness not to link up and develop that partnership, because obviously, ultimately, it's that finding that balance between the two, innit? We've got people that need accommodation. You need people that can relate to people, so I just think it'd be madness.
And Preston is key for us. You know, it's not just about homes, it's about the home, the person, the community, wider Preston. That's all really important.
Oh, I mean, sorry, Graham.
Sorry, Scott. I was just gonna say for us as well. It's you know, although we've not got to ignore the people who are already housed in our stock, and we have a big emphasis at the minute in putting the right people in the right properties, and not making people more vulnerable. And we're doing quite a lot of work about building safer communities, and that's proving to be a huge challenge. What we have seen, especially in more central Preston, is an absolute epidemic of cuckooed properties. That's just really come on the radar.
Do you want to explain what a cuckoo property is, Graham?
Yeah, so it can take a couple of forms, but the most popular form, if that's the right saying, is the most common in Preston. It is tends to be quite isolated single males, probably over 40, who allow people in their property. And they allow people in the property for a number of reasons, friendship, company, or whatever. And before too long, because the people that do take over these properties are really good at what they do, and then you end up with the tenant or the homeowner or the occupier leaving, and then the people who have come into the property take over, and they allow their friends, so it'd be used for illegal use. We've had cannabis farms, we've had crack dens, alcohol dens, brothels, all sorts, everything you can imagine. And the poor vulnerable tenant or is them become street homeless, you know, and they are probably not street homeless ready, if that makes sense, you know, and they really do struggle. And then, you know, because their tenancy has fallen so far, they then struggle to get back in with us. So that's a real, so we're working on Operation Wolf at the minute with the police, and that's an operation that's running, that recognises the spike, and that has started to pull in some results. But
so ultimately you recognise these vulnerable single males, be it females as well, and obviously trying to put the plug there before it actually happens. But what direction do you send these kind of people in? I mean, what kind of signposting have you got for them? You know, if you find them being vulnerable or isolated, and you know, what has Community Gateway got for them?
So we've got an outreach team that go in as well. Within my team, I've got safeguarding, enforcement, and tenancy management. So we all do our little bit. So, for example, and we go in with the police. We look at we work with the victim, be it target hardening, be it you know, that support. It could be that Inspire. It could be a referral to you guys. But we just look. They've got that wraparound support. It's really, really, really difficult, because sometimes, you know, it's that lifestyle choice, and who are we to you know, to impose a lifestyle choice on somebody. But we do everything we can to make sure that that tenancy is sustained, and we protect the best we can them vulnerable tenants. We've had some really good successes. You know, we look at relocation as the absolute last resort, but sometimes that's necessary. But we've had some good success, but we've also had some failures, and it's just at a really concerning level at the minute.
I think ultimately it is to be mindful that we can't catch everybody, but the people that we do catch, at least have got an organisation like yourself, you know, that's got that safety net and that's got that wraparound and that support as well. So ultimately for me, you know, to have an organisation connected with another organisation to actually signpost another, I mean, this is a kind of, you know, community spirit and bond and everything else that we need. And, you know, I think you guys ultimately do a fantastic job. So give me a smile. Don't look too nervous, please. I think you do a fantastic job. So, I mean, again, unless we've got anything more that Community Gateway, you know, are aspiring to. I noticed that you're putting a lot of feeds out as well on your page. So you're keeping people updated with things that are going on. So, and I noticed that the community hubs as well that you've created. Yeah. How do people get involved in that?
Let's ask you to take that out.
Involved in
community hubs.
I know, yeah. I was like, it must be on the question.
But you wasn't listening. I knew you wasn't. Yeah. So we have a referral mechanism within Gateway. We also have a team of benefit advisors, and I think they do such an amazing job going out to all our communities to make sure that they get what, you know, that they are entitled to. We do a delivery service for food parcels, and that's almost like throughout lockdown, Saskia, I think you'll back me up, that was probably the beating heart of our offices. It was taken over by food, and there was you couldn't walk to our reception with
I think from sort of, it depends what the issue is and what people want to get involved in, but people could just contact us by whatever method they find the best method. So you can either ring us, email us, you can go to our website. If people let us know what it is that they're interested in or what their problem is, somebody will pick that up and signpost it to the right area of Gateway, and we'll do the very best that we can to link people in or sort out a problem, really.
And this is it, so much a problem as to knowing that we've got a community that cares about this stuff as well. So how do we get involved? Is a volunteering in place? Can people ultimately, give their time to what you're actually doing?
We have an entire community empowerment team. So, if people want to get involved, you can get involved in so many different ways.
Brilliant.
Get in touch, let us know.
And now we know that as well, because obviously we can signpost people in as well. And if people don't know how to do that, then we can contact Saskia and Graham and whatever else. So and
we have an employment and skills team as well. So we have kind of links, with that as well. We also have links in with PVC, Preston Vocational Centre. So whatever people want to get linked in with.
Do you want to explain what that is? I know what that is, but do you want to explain what Preston Vocational Centre is?
They kind of do training courses and upskilling people in a range of different sort of trades, really. And it's open to all kinds of different people, really. But it's a really, really good.
They do like bricklaying, plastering, all that, like the trade stuff.
Joinery, lots of different kind of trades. So
good stuff.
Thank you very much. Again, tonight has been so far for the guests that we've got, and I know the rest of the guests that we've got, very inspirational, and it is all people centered at the end of the day. We're working to connect communities, we're working to connect people together, to show inspiration. Not only that, to show that there's still people in the backgrounds working in the scenes and being able to jump onto platforms like this very quickly, Matt. I had, like you said, you had it thrown on your toes. It happened a little bit quicker than what it should have done. Thanks, but ultimately, well done to yourself.
But I thought, like I said before, I thought to myself, why would you not have Gateway on this sort of platform? And not only that, we can continue these conversations off this platform as well.
Absolutely.
So have we any questions for him, Glenn?
I'm trying to multitask. I don't know if you can see, but I've got about 6 devices everywhere. I've got phones, laptops, and I'm like, but anyway, So I know that there's not questions, but I know Tony Scott's come in saying that he works for the Salvation Army in Blackburn, and he would like to do some partnership working with Red Rose Recovery.
Very good.
Barbara English, working together builds strength. Shout out to Barbara. So Barbara's our new employee that got a job. She's been volunteering for many, many years, and we employed her about a month back. Shout out to Tony Scott, great stuff. Honest to God, if you could see this, the comments that are coming in are absolutely, but anybody can access these comments.
But you have got the skills, Glenn. I have got ultimate faith in you, my friend. You have got the skills. And I also use my mouth. When it comes to technology, I'll leave that to you, my friend.
No problem. Cheers, Graham.
Thank you.
Saskia.
Thank you for joining us as well tonight, both of you. Brilliant stuff.
No, thanks for
thank you.
So I'm going to change the pace once again. I hope you like the balance that's going on here, people. Balance. I'm going to bring it out to a very special friend of mine as well. I'm going to big him up in the sense that, the kind of character that if I hadn't seen get clean, coming from the kind of backgrounds that he's come from and everything else, I wouldn't have believed it possible for 1 minute. A very, very good friend. Well, let's just say one of my best friends at the end of the day, that's smashing out in the community, that's ultimately been connected to Red Rose as well. I think I've bigged you up enough now, Colin. I know you've got a voice of your own. Do you want to use it, Paul?
Thanks, Scott. Come a long way, haven't we, kid?
We certainly have.
I like what I've heard on here. I just before I start, so we was all, for people who are watching and stuff, this is like a Zoom meeting, and you can see little who's on and stuff. Do you know what I mean? There's only a few of us actually on here, and then when someone said we'll play the VT, I was sat there looking, and start scrolling through, and everyone's just sat there looking at the screen. I thought, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? Then I realised after about 5 minutes that if I flicked it across to whoever's speaking, you could see what the viewers were seeing. You know what I mean? So I missed half of it. Like, yeah, mad. So I don't, you know, it's like one of them. So for me, never had a job, always in and out of prison. You know, kind of like an animal level, like existence, revolving around chemists, drug dealers, prison, just not really good. And you know, I thought there must be a way out of this. I thought that years ago actually, but I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know stuff like this, and I was always in one service or another. And then, well, what happened is my partner now, who I'm still with now, she got pregnant, and I thought I'm gonna have to do something. And I kind of, well, I got clean. I just did what I had to do. You know, it's one of them. Anyone who wants to get clean, if you don't sound, but if you want to, just do whatever it takes. You know, and that's what I did, and I got clean. And oh no, what happened? No, this is what happened actually. I'm going about the last time I was clean. This is the first time I was clean. Man's relapsed a few times. You know what I mean? I went to a rehab and I got kicked out of the rehab. And then when I come out of the rehab, and I thought I need to do something. You know, to put something in place, because you know, back in the day and that, I remember trying to cut down off a Subutex prescription, and then I remember walking out the chemist on the last day of the Subutex script and thinking, what now? You know what I mean? Because I don't know what it's like to have a job. I don't know what it's like. You know, I don't know. I've got no life skills whatsoever, and I've got a belief system that's a bit corrupt. And anyway, when I was clean, I thought I need to do something. So I kind of like, you know, people spoke about having friends and connection, you know, and it is the biggest thing. So, and I had a mate of mine, and he said, "Oh, come to this place." So I come to this place, and it was Emma Daggers, who works with Red Rose, and she said, "Oh, come and get involved and stuff." So I never did anything, but some jobs come out. So I went for a job with no CV, because I never had a CV or anything. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know nothing about nothing. Anyway, I went for the job and I didn't get it. But what I did after that is I kept volunteering and showing up. So while I was in the office one day, he goes, "You know what, do you want a job?" And that, you know, he's showing, you know, like they kind of put a bit of belief in me because I showed up and stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm overwhelmed to death and that, like, because I've got a belief system that, you know, this is a corrupt belief system of mine, yeah. Not now, but it was, yeah. Why would I get a job when I can make what you make in a week in a few hours? You know what I mean? Not even bringing into concept of prison. I'm going to get like 3 years or whatever for it. You know what I mean? Man's trying to do things differently. So I got this job role. The next thing, they give me a laptop. I had no idea how to work it. I never sent an email. I never done anything. And they give me a phone. And off you go. And you know what? I thought, you know, they must nearly swear. Then I thought, you know, they must put some trust in me to let me go off on my own. I could just be sat at home, you know, but I didn't. You know, and I got around everywhere, and I started like going to them LUFs and then chairing them LUFs, and you know, way out my depth, if I'm honest. And you know, like basically what happened is during this process, yeah, because I had people who believed in me in a work environment, I kind of like learnt like computer skills. You know, I started learning how to talk to normal people and sit in meetings and hold my own. You know, unbeknown to me, I was building a bit of self-worth and had a bit of purpose. Loads of stuff what I didn't even like realize it done until after the event. And I ended up going all over the Northwest all the time, and I really enjoyed it. And then what happened was, you know, once you've got a job and that, and you're putting yourself out there, because Red Rose work with, because they come from the ethos of we're great together. You know, like the other organisation, what was on there now, you know, it's like it's all teamwork, and you know, it breeds success. And so I'm working with all other different services, and then someone else offers you a job, you know, offers you more money and things like that, you know, and you just go with it. You know, I think I've worked for more services in Northwest now. You know, but Red Rose, you know, it was my starting point platform to learn basic skills what I never even knew I didn't have, if you know what I mean. You know, fast forward the tape, you know, I had a little relapse. I worked for a few services, I had a little relapse because because, you know, I'll tell you something now is that I'm still learning about life. I spent many years in prison, messing around on streets and stuff like that. And I didn't know, I still don't know nothing about life. That's why I need people around me. You know, and now, you know, I've been clean a couple of years again. And I've got 2 children, 2 little boys, partner. You know, I've got a job, but I'm one of them, I don't like being defined by my job. A job is not what I'll tell you something now. I'll tell you what I do for a living. I stay clean for a living. Job and all that lot is here and all there to me if I start using. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I've always like tried to tap into Red Rose when I can. I always send people Red Rose's way because it is a good starting point, you know, and it is like it's like a bridge in it from services into you know, like normal stuff and that, you know what I mean? Yeah, I weren't really sure what I was doing on here. I was just like my mate and that, you know, he said, come on and that, so come on. And I'm thinking, because I'm one of them, I don't really like talking about myself. But I'll tell you something though. Scott's laughing. I'll tell you something now, yeah. You know, from a process that started with stuff like getting a job at Red Rose, you know, I am employable now, do you know what I mean? And I've become a bit more, not 100%, yeah, but a bit more civilized. Do you know what I mean? And giving it a go, you know, and that's all we've got. You know what I mean? What I do for you, Scott?
Do you know what, my friend? I think you've undersold yourself there, really. But again, you know, but ultimately, you've given the foundation as to, because you always encourage me on to get me foot on the ladder at the end of the day, you know, to get like exactly what you just said, you know, because you're just telling my story as far as I'm concerned, you know, getting your foot on the ladder, getting computer skills, being given the responsibilities and everything else, and then finding the new skill set that you've actually got. But it wasn't a new skill set, you already had it. And it's transferable skills that we had in addiction, you know, so they were always there, but they just needed refining. And, you know, ultimately, I know you're a people person. And, you know, for me, the kind of connections that we have, the kind of conversations that we have, really in-depth conversations. I mean, you're a man that I could turn around today and say, I love you. Now, we're on live Facebook. Now, I don't care, mate. We're on live Facebook. But let's have it right. So, for me, you taught me that love was an action. So, putting that good action in towards people and just showing them that you cared and the kind of compassion that you've got and everything else. Now, I'm selling you here. But again, you know, but it's just the similar kind of stories that we've got at the end of the day. And I know you're exactly the same as me. You can come on a platform like this, not have a clue what we're talking about anyway. Act all professional like we have done on this platform tonight, I hope, you know. But again, know that.
I nearly swore.
What's that, Paul?
I nearly swore.
That's okay. That just shows that, you know, we're human beings at the end of the day. We are human beings. So what is it you do today, Colin?
Group facilitator for a treatment facility.
And what do you get from that?
Money. Well, do you know what? I'll tell you something now. I love helping people, as you know, but that is separate for what I do to stay clean. You know what I mean? 100% separate. I enjoy doing it. I love the job. The staff are brilliant. Clients are brilliant, but it's not what I do to stay clean. You know what I mean? The real deal stuff, what lights me up, is what we do.
Yeah.
So it's internal. It's internal. It's not external. You're not doing it for the money. You're doing it because it warms your heart and it's what you like doing. And I remember someone saying to me about a few days ago that Red Rose, it's not a job. It's a lifestyle. And I actually believe it. I actually believe it because if you live and breathe it, if you come into this sector to get rich, you might as well go now. But if you do it internally, then. But yeah, but it's great to see. It's great to see you doing well, Colin.
So I'll just tell you something now. So the reason why I started getting into that kind of game in the first place, like loads of people who aren't addicts get into that game, is because I gave my sister drugs. She overdosed and died from the drugs what I give her. And that was a driving factor to somehow try and level the karma. Do you know what I mean? Because it was obviously I never do that, you know, purposely. But since then, that's what it's about. I'm doing it because I love watching people getting lit up, and I love watching people change. And I love, you know, like I think when I worked for Red Rose, they did a thing, and the average prolific offender costs the state 1.2 million a year in prison, probation, courts, and all this kind of stuff. And you know, let's just say my man Scott there, you know, when he got clean, he's saving him 1.2 million a year, and he's giving taxes and he's putting back into a system. And not only that, he's ripping it out, trying to help next man as well. You know, and grassroots stuff is the only thing that works, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and I know that you do that massively yourself, Colin. And you know, and again, being a part of each of his journey, you know, same with Glenn, same with yourself. I mean, I've been in jail with Glenn. You know, I've been on the streets with yourself and what have you. Just to see the transformation of you know, a few standing characters and the kind of stuff and the compassion that we give back today. You know, I think we don't have to advertise that stuff. We just are that stuff. You know, naturally, we was always them people. We just didn't know how to find that person. And ultimately, with each other's help and moving forward, you know, being able to give that stuff away at the end of the day. And yeah, you're dead right. It's again, my recovery starts with, and it is mutual aid, you know, but again, I don't believe that everybody has to buy into the mutual aid. It's just that I can encourage people to find their own recovery today and go at their pace. And it comes down to attraction. So the attraction for me was yourself and seeing you doing it. And then ultimately that's a ripple effect that we have. And you're dead right. You know, recovery starts at home as well.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not about how you do your recovery, because if you do mutual aid, smart, peer support, it's all the same. It's all connection. It's just brandedly differently. And it's like I always say to people that it's about dipping your toe in and seeing what's for you. And if it works for you, then follow that path. There's no right or wrong way of doing it.
Try everything.
Try everything. Yeah. Try everything. Well, Colin, listen, thank you for your patience as well. And you sat the evening as well, my friend.
Can I just come in, Scott?
You certainly can. I've got a lot of love for our Colin.
Yeah, we've got Emily Kinder. Shout out to Emily. She's saying, good lad, Colin. Well done. We've got Ben Skelly watching all the way from Blackpool. Not seen Ben for a while, so good to see you, Ben, on this platform. And we've got our own Lynn, who shaved her head off for cancer about 2 months back. And she's actually
not
on
head. Hair, mate. Hair, not the head.
All right, then. Hair. It's a Lancashire thing, do you know what I mean? So anyway, but she's actually on annual leave, but she's still on this platform in the comments, giving a lot of love. So thanks for coming on, Colin. Good stuff.
Cheers, my friend. I will see you very shortly, no doubt. Cheers, buddy. So I want to. I've been waiting for this angel all night. It's the lights that do it in the background. I was expecting the wings to be spread, but I'm sure to God you'll put us under your wings. Nicola Kelly, Guardian Angels, please let us know a little bit more.
I'm an absolute technophobe, and you've made me wait till last, so I've got dead nervous now.
I apologise for that.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I'll just tell you a bit about me. I'm a recovering alcoholic. After leaving my treatment centre, I met Russ Kay at Red Rose Recovery and did the recovery coach training with Emma and was a recovery coach for a bit. And that was the support I needed at that time, and also like a stepping stone to get back into paid employment, like everybody else has shared. And then I've changed work position a few times to get back to being, I'm a registered nurse, so I'm back nursing, and I'm nursing in a detox facility at the moment. So being in that job role, I see a lot of broken people. Every day when I go into work, I admit somebody new to the unit who is absolutely their life's in tatters. And do you know what? Being the nurse in that role, it's a job like nothing else, because you spend time with somebody, you connect with them, you understand them, you have that empathy, and to see the look on their face when they recognise, they see that hope, basically. that, oh, you're in recovery too, yeah. And it's magic. I cry with people, because it's really emotional, and people will say to me, thank you for being that person when when they've walked through the door and they're afraid and they're vulnerable. And I say, no, thank you, because every day that I'm in work, I'm benefiting from them too. I think it doesn't matter whether you're 30 years sober or first day sober, we're each teaching each other, but it's being in this job role. I've recognised that there's a bit of a gap in service provision, I think. When people are in detox and rehab and they're supported round the clock with the peers, with the staff, and they'll make plans to go back home and continue the life. But quite often people just like really, they fall at the first hurdle, basically. They go home and just fall into a big gap. Of course, there's services out there available, but they've got to make the effort. They've got to have that motivation, the confidence to access those resources. And some people won't, when you go back home. I know for me, my drinking was done at home. That was a very dark place. And to go back to the same people, the same routine, it's very hard to put your life on the new track. There's a lot of reminders, there's a lot of ghosts, there's a lot of routines that are entrenched. So home isn't always the safe place that it is for a lot of people. It's actually, the gates of hell sometimes, isn't it? So basically, my idea is, for Guardian Angel, is that I want to be there to support those people. And, services are available quite often Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And I know from my own experience that when you need help, it's usually Friday night, Saturday night, early hours of the morning, whatever that is, when a lot of services aren't available. So I did a quick Google and thought, is there somebody out there that can be with you 24/7 in your home, in that place? Because when you're going home, that's your base to start the rest of your life, isn't it? You need to find that comfortable, safe place in your home. And people need support to do that, I think. So the idea is that I will actually liaise with whichever client I have in their treatment centre, and organise. I'll come and collect them and I'll take them home. And it might be as simple as the first job is actually, let's have a look around the house, let's have a look where you used to stash your supplies, because I know I have bottles under the couch, in the laundry cupboard, in the oven, wherever, and it's basically, I'm going to be with that person and I'm going to support them around the clock. I'll be there in the evening if they're struggling. I'll be there in the night if they're struggling. And I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to be your buddy, and we're going to have a look at making plans, using my own experiences, because I've made lots of mistakes, but I've kind of done a step-by-step. This is how I've built my life back up, and I'm kind of looking at just sharing that, but recognising, and that was said to me in Red Rose Recovery as well, about your own recovery path. I remember Russ saying to me, Nicola, you went to rehab, but that's not everybody's choice. That's not available to everybody either, and that you need to support people to find their own path, which is a case of like looking at what is available and letting them choose what is appropriate. I do mutual aid as well. That is something I've just come to in the last couple of years. And I think I've linked in with a lot of organisations around this local area. So I've got a good general idea of what's available and how to access things. But even so, I don't know everything. And I'm a human being, I get things wrong, but a part of recovery is holding your hand up and saying, do you know what, I admit that I didn't get that right. I think it's just learning. I want to be there with somebody to help them learn, basically, and practice, and, you know, linking with their community support networks, because the idea is that I'm going to be with you for a short period of time, for a couple of weeks, and then taper off my support so that you're going to do it independently. The idea is I'll support you initially, but by the end of and it's a 3-month contract that I'm looking at, the client, whoever, will be happy in their own routine, have linked into the appropriate community support networks, and be able to go it alone. What else do you need to know? Have I covered everything there?
Yeah, I mean, you've covered a few things. Again, you know, is it specific around alcohol? Is it for people that use drugs as well? Is it?
It's both, Scott. I think where I work now, it's drugs and alcohol, and it's a variety of different drugs. So obviously, most of my experience is with alcohol.
You're the whole package, aren't you? Because you're a registered nurse, you've got lived experience, you're a coach, you've got that whole package to be able to look after someone when they need it most. So how long is it? So you said, did you say a 12-week contract? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
A 12-week contract.
So ideally, it would work for 2 weeks round the clock. So I'll move into your house with you.
Is that while they do the detox?
No. That's a question that's been put to me recently, actually, because my idea is that people will do their detox within a facility.
Right.
That I'm not going to facilitate that. That will be done within a unit, and then I will just take over the recovery coaching when they come out.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, I was just thinking there, though. I mean, this just might be opening a new world of possibilities. But evidently, with being a registered nurse, that you could actually facilitate a detox, couldn't you, from maybe alcohol and a possibility with drugs? You know, because it's a controlled substance at the end of the day. So again, would that be a possibility?
I think from a nursing perspective, that is just going to open a whole can of worms with insurance and with nursing registration. And I don't want to work as a nurse, I want to work as a recovery coach, but there would be an option, I guess, if somebody is doing a community detox, that I could be the appropriate adult. You know, because community detoxes normally rely on somebody being with the client, don't they? You can't usually just get a community detox on your own. They want to know that there's going to be somebody there in case the medication's not sufficient and people are at risk of seizures.
So again, we're talking about a 3-month contract, aren't we? And when you mention contract, what do you mean by contract?
Well, I guess it's just outlining the time scale, the support that I will be providing, in that I'm not going to live with you for 3 months. You know, it is tapering off, because that the goal is looking for independence and recovery.
So it's just what you have to offer then, isn't it? Just outlining it on a piece of paper, really. So really what you're offering is like an aftercare package.
Yes.
Yeah, to support people after they've come out of detox, and because that's when they need it most, isn't it? Is when they've done that and they're quite vulnerable and susceptible to relapsing, lapsing, whatever you want to call it. I
think personally, it's a beautiful, compassionate thing to be able to, you know, because that takes a lot of energy. That takes a hell of a lot of energy, you know, to be with someone 24/7, and you know, because you're living somebody else's life, somebody else's demons, you know, the curveballs that they're going to get thrown at them, and you know, and tackling it side by side with somebody else. And I mean, we're talking side by side. You know, there's no piece of paper that's going to come between you. So again, you know, ultimately having that experience what you talk about, and again the platforms that you've come from, I mean, I think that's a beautiful thing. What kind of and I think I'm saying this just out of, you know, other people's interest, no doubt, but what kind of people fit this criteria? I know all addicts do to a degree. is it money that they're going to have to pay for the contract? Is it? So again, I'm sorry that I have to put it out there. I'm sorry that I have to put it out there, because I think you'd have a million and one people on your case straight away. Because I know it's a kind of care I'd have loved, coming out of the support bubble and everything else. Unfortunately, I know with your expertise and everything else, the kind of care that you're delivering and what have you, that there has to be something centered in that as well. To perform that ultimately, to actually pay for the means and the necessary, kind of care that you're delivering as well. So, what is it, Nicola? Sorry.
What is it? What? How much?
Don't like talking about money. Don't like talking about money yourself, but let's have it. I mean, so again, we're on about people that can afford the kind of care package that you're offering anyway. So let's not talk about the price, but people that are interested in looking for a care package, people that are interested in, from having that day-to-day, everyday support and looking for that person-centered again. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a brilliant word, person-centered approach, being absolutely there, the buddy system, the 24/7, because it's not a 9-to-5 situation like you've already mentioned. It's definitely not a 9-to-5 situation, and being able to set a path forward for someone and actually say, well, look, listen, this is a skill now, because we're going to have to follow this kind of path forward and what have you, and ultimately setting them on the way, giving them that responsibility as well, but ultimately finding the kind of responsibilities that they've got of their own, looking for the skills, looking for their assets, and encouraging that kind of stuff. So sorry, no, I shouldn't have mentioned. But again,
no,
kind of people.
You're right though, Scott, because like you say, yeah, a lot of people would like that support, and unfortunately, it's I've got to pay my bills, and that's.
Of course.
Yeah, I love to help people. That's I'm very passionate about recovery, obviously, but for me, this is just a new direction. For me, a job, obviously, got bills to pay, but also the criteria is going to be very specific, isn't it? There's a lot of people I see come into detox for a week and they go in rehab for a few weeks and they think that they're all fixed and that's going to be it. And then obviously they fall at the first hurdle. If you're state funded, quite often you go into rehab for a longer period of time. That's preparing you much more effectively for life, isn't it? But
people that are absolutely paying a lot of money to get this detox just to fall at the first hurdle, obviously, is the people that you've been centered on as well, as so not so much wasting that money, but to be able to capture them and say, well, look, listen, this is the kind of aftercare that you can pay for as well afterwards.
Yeah, because it's not enough. A month rehab's not enough. You're just scratching the surface with that, aren't you? And, and quite often some people just think that they can throw money at a conditioner and it'll all get sorted and go away, and it's not. We know this is a lifelong thing. Like we've mentioned before, recovery is a way of life. I'm going to be a student for the rest of my life. I'm going to be in recovery for the rest of my life, and a lot of people don't get it. They'll come into detox and go, just want to get back to social drinking, and I'd say realistically, if you're here, you can't have that again.
But ultimately though, Nicola, it's like, yeah, all right, there might be a cost attached to it, and yeah, you do have to pay your bills and stuff like that, but ultimately you potentially could be saving someone's life. So it's like, does cost really matter in that? I know some people might not be able to access it and some people might, but there is a cohort of people there that can have got the funds to be able to access that support, and if it's going to save the life, then for me, if I had it, I'd definitely access it.
Yeah, and I think, I think it would just ultimately just be able to open that up a little bit, just to, make people aware of that kind of scenario at the end of the day. Yeah, it's saving lives. Yeah, the availability is there as well. But not only that, I've just lost track exactly where I was going with that then. But not only that, I know I shouldn't have jumped in too quick then. I get slapped hands for that. But again, it's just to show that it's not the end, especially when you say that people just throw money at it. People will just throw money at it, hoping that it'll go away and everything else. And you're dead right. Money's not the issue at the end of the day when it comes down to saving lives, ultimately. I'm sorry if I put it across at you in like different angles. I just didn't know which way to. But again, it was just to let people know as well, you know, the kind of angle that you're coming from as well. You know, let's have it. Nicola Kellett, the angel, is a very valuable asset to this community. A very valuable asset. You know, if you take me to the Northern Lights, I'm in.
Oh wow, I know, it's great, that, isn't it?
You're getting a lot of love for the community and people saying that it's a great idea. Emily Kinder said she loves angels, so she's well in. Barbara English, how great to say you've been an angel as a buddy. I tried social drinking, didn't work for me. So, and that's the thing, innit? It's like as well, you've got to take into factor that when you do get funded for detox, or you could be waiting months and months and months, and potentially once you've had a detox or a rehab, then I don't know the criteria that you've got to meet to do that, but I do know that obviously there's funding cuts and things like that. So yeah, it's a great service, and it's a great platform for you to be able to come out and tell people what you do, Nicola.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patience as well, Nicola. Is there any more questions that anybody else would like to throw to Nicola? There's some tumbleweed on here tonight, isn't there? But listen, absolutely brilliant, Nicola, and cheers for joining us as well and giving your Saturday evening up as well.
Do you know what? It's been lovely. It's been really informative. I've really benefited from this, and I'm getting to grips with technology as well. This is dead good.
Me, you both.
Thank you for having me.
No,
Nicola,
thank you for turning up.
I'm going to put your website on the chat as well, so people have got it so they can access it.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Nicola. And before we move any more forward, I think we're going to have a bit of 1 second, Neil. I see you poised. I can't wait to listen to your music. We're going to have a wheel of fortune, aren't we, Glenn?
We are, yeah.
Oh, so come on. You see, this is where you could be Carol Vorderman now, and you could just turn up and then start spinning. I'd be loving this. But anyway, Glen Ireland.
So each week when we do this, we do a prize giveaway of a £20 voucher. So what we do is everyone that likes and shares it from the week before, we enter it into a wheel, we spin it live on here, and that person wins a £20 voucher. Last week, a staff member, the operations manager, Richard Borland's won it. So he decided to donate it to this week. So this week it's a rollover. So whoever likes and shares will go into next week's prize giveaway. And obviously tonight I'm going to do the live one so whoever wins this one wins a £40 voucher. So I'm going to do that now. So I'll give me 2 seconds.
I'm only interested because I'm waiting for my name to come up there. Although...
No pressure. No pressure.
Oh, you carry on, Glenn.
There we go. Can you all see that?
Oh, get on this class format, my friend. This class. Oh, what one, Carol?
So all these people that are entered into this was the ones that liked and shared, not just liked or shared, liked and shared. So I would encourage anybody to just like and share this video. You've got up until next Saturday to do that, and then you will enter next week's draw. So this is for the people last week. So here goes, people. Can we all see that? Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Can we have a drum? Can we have a drum roll, please? Oh, come on. You know, I'm just going to press it. Sue Thompson is our winner. I will be contacting you, and a £40 voucher will be on its way to you. Well done.
Well, that's next week's steak in the post. It's next week's steak in the post. Absolutely brilliant. So we're going to move forward now, and we're going to play out with Neil. And I think these are songs that you've wrote yourself as well, aren't they, Neil?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, the songs I wrote myself. I've actually reworded songs what I like.
Brilliant.
It's part of my journey, and I'm trying to. You'll see through the words that I'm trying to show a bit of gratitude to my family, because you know me. I deserted all my family one by one, and I chose drugs before my family. You know, I sold them down the river, and I'm actually at my auntie's. This is my auntie. Come here and say
hello, auntie. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
So
proud of you, Dad. So proud of my parents, Mum.
Wow.
You put the tough work.
Thanks. She's in recovery herself from cancer. She got the all clear after having chemo 3 weeks ago. Before that, she had brain surgery, and before that, she lost a partner to the disease of addiction. And the first thing she did when she come out of isolation was come to Blackpool to see me, to see how I was. You know, really brave woman. I get a lot of inspiration from her.
Absolute soldier. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm privileged to allow me back into her life, so I can sort of make amends and put things right. And she's helping me with my parents, my sister, and other things. I've still got work to do on my daughters. I sold them all down the river. I went to prison. I chose drugs. I went to prison before thinking of them. You know, and thanks for what everyone said. You know, the theme tonight, it seems like saving people's lives and, you know, doing service to other people in recovery. I love what you said about, is it Saskia and Graham, about the supported housing. It's something that I'm in supported housing. I'm in JFH, Jobs, Friends and Houses in Blackpool, which they've saved my life. I get so much support,
Yeah.
I'd be lost without it. And they're giving me the courage to come and do what I'm doing now, to visit my family, you know, all sorts of stuff.
So what is it you're playing for us tonight, Neil?
Pardon?
What is it you're playing for us tonight, Paul?
The first songs that I'll do two. I've got time to do 2 songs.
Have we got time to do 2? Do you know what? We're all accommodating tonight, my friend. Why not? You give us 2 songs.
The more the merrier.
Back to back.
If you want.
We'll have the A side and we'll have the B side. But go on.
Yeah.
Give us the platform.
It's
Give us a song, Neil.
Right, the first one's an old song by the Kinks, but I've reworded it to mean, because it's got a lot of meaning for me and my family. My dad used to play my dad was into the Kinks, and he used to play songs by the Kinks. You know, it's all about family. So I'm doing something I enjoy, and I'm trying to spread a bit of hope for anyone who's estranged from the families. Just keep going, just keep at it. You know, you'll get there. So anyway, I'll shut up now. I'll just start singing. This is my Elvis Costello impression. Oh, I can't even see. Oh, drugs have taken me to hell and left me in my prison cell. I don't want to take you anymore. You left me on the shelf, a shadow of my former self. I don't want to know you anymore. Help me, help me, help me stay away. I got a million reasons why I ought to stay. Well, I love to live so pleasantly, live this life of luxury. I don't want to know you anymore. Addiction, addiction. Oh, drugs just brought me to my knees, shunned by friends and family. Memories of drunkenness and cruelty. They found enough, everyone they've had enough. Didn't want to know me anymore. Help me, help me, help me stay away. reasons why I wanna stay. Well, I love to live so pleasantly, live this life of luxury. I don't wanna know you anymore. Addiction, addiction. So much into recovery, a voyage of discovery. Thanks to all who've helped me on my way. All the chance I've had from friends and family, mom and dad. I promise I won't let you down no more. Help me, help me, help me sail away. I got a million reasons why I ought to stay. Well, I love to live so pleasantly, live this life of luxury. I don't wanna know you anymore. Addiction, addiction, addiction. Thanks. Thank you.
I thought brilliant, that, Neil. Not to be too pushy, although, would you like to jump straight into your next song, as we are running out of a little bit of time?
Yeah, yeah. It's just about it's about my addiction. No, I'm in supported housing and what my friends have done for me.
Take it away, pal. Take it away.
Whew. I spent my life in addiction, selfishness and greed. The promises I made to my family carried no guarantee. I stole, I lied, I cheated to buy the drugs I need. My best friend was my dealer. He did nothing for me. Didn't have recovery. Was only wasting my time. Now I'm in recovery. You're all friends of mine. I hit my last rock bottom in a prison cell. Isolated and desperate. It was a living hell. I knew it was my last chance. I got down on my knees and I prayed. I asked my God to help me. This is what he said. Neil, you need recovery. You're only wasting your time. Now I'm in recovery. You're all friends of mine. I made a new start in Blackpool, made friends straight away. They showed me there was a solution. I'm in supported housing, grateful every day. When I see someone is struggling, this is what I say. Boy, you need recovery. You're only wasting your time. Now I'm in recovery. You're all friends of mine. You're all friends of mine. You're all friends of mine. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time as well, Neil. Much appreciated, people. Much appreciated. And sorry, Neil. Yeah, so as much as I hate to end this situation, as nervous as what I was when we started this, you can all unmute yourselves by all means. You know, I'd just like you all to give yourself a pat on the back as well. You know, very informative, a very live evening. It's been a mixture of community and, you know, lived experience and absolutely brilliant for the music as well, Neil. You know, we can't do it without you guys. You know, we can today. You know, I on my own will struggle, but showing that we've got communities and people out there that care, they've got faith, they've got hope, and not only that, commitment to what they're about. Because I think it takes big heart to be in a place where we're all at today, you know, and to show this kind of compassion and love. Dare I say the L word, love. Love, remember, ultimately is an action, people. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you, and you know, we will see each other on this journey in the near future. I am sure of this. So if anybody else has got anything else to add, please do.
I just want to say thank you to all the guests and also to the community as well, because without you guys in the community, we won't be able to do stuff like this. And like you said, it's all about connection and learning about other services, what other people are doing. And obviously we're in a funny time with COVID, so platforms like this.
Even more with Hilarity. I got it, Hilarity. Even more, we're in a funny time with Hilarity.
But yeah, so it's just that, and I know that some of these platforms aren't for everybody, and some people get nervous, but you've all smashed it. So I want to thank everybody that's on here.
Absolutely, loads of love and loads of pleasure to see you all, guys. But thank you very much. Good night. Be safe and have a lovely weekend. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.